You are not the writer of your life story. You are a stunt double reenacting a script that was written before you even learned to tie your shoes. Most of us walk around with a comfortable delusion. We wake up, grab our coffee, and tell ourselves that we are the captains of our own ships, navigating through life with fresh, independent choices. It is a lie. If you could zoom out and watch the time-lapse of your life, you wouldn't see a pioneer charting a new course. You would see a train locked onto a track. You would see a creature moving in circles, convinced it is walking in a straight line. Robert Greene identifies this as one of the most fundamental laws of human nature, the law of irrationality. But let's skip the academic jargon. Let's call it what it really is. The loop. We all know someone stuck in the loop. Let's call him Dave. Dave is a great guy. Smart, funny, successful in his career. But look at his love life. Dave dates the same chaotic, emotionally unavailable woman every single year. She has a different name, a different hair color. Maybe this one is an artist instead of a bartender, but the dynamic is identical. It always starts with intense passion and ends with the same screaming match at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday and the same public meltdown. Dave asks, "Why do I have such bad luck?" It isn't bad luck. Dave, you aren't making choices. You are scratching a compulsive itch. You are addicted to the drama because chaos is the only language of love you learned to speak. Or look at the people pleaser in your office. You know the type. The one who says yes to every request because they are terrified of friction. They think they are being helpful. They think they are the good soldier. But in reality, they are building a massive reservoir of resentment. Every forced smile, every sure, no problem, adds a drop of poison to the tank. Eventually, the dam breaks. They explode over a missing stapler or a passive-aggressive email, destroying their reputation in 5 minutes flat. Then, the guilt sets in, they apologize profusely, and the cycle resets. They aren't being nice. They are being held hostage by their own fear of rejection. Then there is the aggressive CEO. He clawed his way to the top, using brute force. He was a wartime general who destroyed the competition. But now, the war is over, and he is trying to run a peacetime government. He fails. He gets fired because he can't stop biting people's heads off. He treats his own board of directors like enemy combatants. He doesn't know how to turn it off. These aren't decisions. These are reflexes. The ancient Greeks said, "Character is destiny." That is not a fortune cookie quote. It is biology. Your character is not the job title in your bio. It is the scar tissue on your nervous system. Think about it. Maybe you had a cold, distant father. As a 6-year-old, you learned that the only way to get a scrap of love was to perform to be perfect, to get straight A's, to never complain. That strategy saved you when you were 6. It was a brilliant survival tactic. But now, you are 40. You are burning yourself out working 80 hours a week for a boss who treats you like furniture, desperate for a pat on the head that is never coming. You are technically a grown adult with a mortgage and a 401k. But your nervous system is still a scared 6-year-old begging for attention. This isn't a bad habit you can break with a vision board. It is bone deep. It is etched into your neural pathways. And here is the mechanism that keeps you trapped. The biological hijack. We like to think of ourselves as rational beings, but the moment stress hits, or someone wounds your fragile ego, the rational part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, goes offline. It literally shuts down. The amygdala, the primitive threat detection center, kicks down the door and takes the wheel. When the amygdala is driving, you stop seeing reality and start fighting ghosts. You react to your spouse's tone not as a partner, but as a child being. You react to a risky investment tip, not as an investor, but as a desperate gambler trying to prove your worth. You aren't thinking, you are just reacting to a threat that isn't there. And the darkest joke of all, the brain prefers the pain it knows to the happiness it doesn't. To the primitive mind, safety doesn't mean happy. Safety means familiar. We go back to the toxic ex, We pick the fight we know we will lose, simply because the pattern is comfortable. The unknown is terrifying to the survival brain. It would rather stay in a familiar hell than risk stepping into an unfamiliar heaven. So how do you kill the cycle? How do you stop being a stunt double in your own life? The standard advice is to control your emotions or suppress the anger. That is garbage advice. Repression is dangerous. If you bury a feeling, it doesn't die. It rots. It becomes radioactive waste, leaking into the groundwater of your mind, until it eventually explodes as a sickness or a sudden act of The real solution is the tactical pause. In a world obsessed with speed, where everyone is rushing to reply, to retweet, to react, your superpower is dragging your feet. When the anger hits, or you feel that sudden, desperate urge to send a nasty text freeze, do absolutely nothing. That intense feeling of, I must do this right now, is a lie. That is just a chemical storm passing through your skull. It is a dopamine trap designed to make you act without thinking. Wait 3 hours. Wait 3 days, if you have to. You are buying time. You are waiting for the cortisol and adrenaline to flush out of your system so your rational brain, the prefrontal cortex, can come back online. It will feel uncomfortable. It will feel like holding your breath underwater. Every instinct will scream at you to lash out, to fix it, to say something. But you must hold the line. That silence is where you regain control. That silence is the difference between a slave and a master. Once the storm passes and the chemicals settle, you switch to forensics mode. Stop judging yourself. Don't say I'm such an idiot. Ask, why did I do that? Why did you hire that guy? Was he actually qualified? Or did he just flatter your insecurity about being a good leader? Why did you blow up at your spouse over the dirty dishes? Was it really about the dishes? Or did their tone remind you of your critical mother? You have to be ruthless. You have to drag the monster into the light. Most people are terrified of looking inward because they are afraid of what they will find. But once you name the pattern, I seek validation from authority figures, or I sabotage relationships when they get too close, the pattern loses its grip. You can't kill an enemy you can't see, but once you see it, you can kill it. This is brutal work. It is not for the faint of heart, but if you do it, something incredible happens. The world becomes transparent. You develop X-ray vision. You stop taking things personally. When a colleague tries to undermine you, you don't get mad. You see their loop. You see that they aren't attacking you. They are acting out their own deep-seated envy or insecurity. You see the frightened child pulling their strings. You become the only person in the room playing with your eyes open while everyone else is sleepwalking, bumping into the same walls they have been hitting since childhood. But breaking your own patterns is just step one. It frees you from the tyranny of the past. But there is a bigger tyrant we have to deal with, one that is even harder to shake because it feels so good. That tyrant is the present moment. We are addicted to the now. We are obsessed with the immediate win, the viral trend, the quarterly result. We are tactically smart, but strategically blind. To get real perspective to see the whole board, we have to confront the one thing every human being spends their entire life running from. We have to talk about death. The tactical trap. We are all guilty of this. It's not just you. We are wired for the now. We are addicted to short-termism, like it's a drug. You live for the cheap dopamine hit of an Amazon package thudding against your front door. You chase the adrenaline rush of winning a comments section argument with a stranger who lives in a basement in Ohio. You post a photo on LinkedIn humble bragging about working on a Saturday, and then you check your phone every 3 minutes, desperate for the validation of a blue thumbs-up icon. This isn't just a bad habit, it's brain damage. You have fragmented your attention span so severely that you can't read a single chapter of The Great Gatsby without your hand twitching toward your pocket. You can't sit through a red light without checking your notifications. You are drowning in the shallows. You are so obsessed with the ground beneath your feet, the crumbs, the petty slights, the immediate crisis, that you never look up to see the semi-truck barreling down the highway towards you, the hawk and the rat. To escape this, you need to change your altitude. You are currently living life as a rat in a maze, bumping into walls, turning left, turning right, chasing the cheese. You need to become the hawk. Robert Greene calls this the God's eye view. But let's strip away the fancy terminology. It's about detachment. It's about the ability to pull back way back until the things that stress you out look like what they actually are. Invisible specks of dust. Imagine looking at your life from 30,000 feet. From up there, the urgent email from your boss looks tiny. The rude comment on your Instagram looks irrelevant. The guy who cut you off in traffic, he doesn't even exist. When you view the timeline of your life as a whole, you realize the sickening truth. You are fighting to the death over scraps while your actual time runs out. You are trading your limited hours on Earth for moments of feeling right. And this brings us to the only metric that actually counts. We need to talk about the liar hanging on your wall. The calendar, the cult of someday. Stop trusting the calendar. It lies to your face every single morning. It whispers that there is always a next week. It promises a next month. It seduces you with the most dangerous, paralyzing word in the English language. Someday. Someday I'll write that screenplay. Someday I'll take that trip to Japan. Someday I'll have the difficult conversation with my spouse. Someday I'll get in shape. Let me break the bad news. Someday is not a day of the week. It is code for never. Your brain is designed to protect you from the reality of death. It pushes your dreams into a vague, infinite future where you are safe, rich, talented, and ready. But that future is a mirage. It does not exist. When you strip away the illusion of infinite time, you are left with the raw, terrifying beauty of the present. This is the law of mortality. I know, people say this is morbid. They say, don't talk about death. It's depressing. They are wrong. It is the most life-affirming shift you can possibly make. When you realize viscerally, in your gut, that you could drop dead next Tuesday, the bullshit evaporates. The fear of public embarrassment, gone. Who cares if you stutter during a speech if you might not be here next year? The fear of failure. Irrelevant. The fear of what your high school friends think of you? Laughable. The only thing that remains is the urgency to do what you were put on this planet to do, turning dead time into a lifetime. So, how do we turn this heavy philosophy into a weapon you can use on a Tuesday afternoon? How do you stop drifting and start driving? First, you have to declare total war on dead time. Dead time is the cancer of potential. It is the hours you spend rotting in waiting rooms, standing in lines, or sitting in the back of an Uber, letting your brain decay. Most people treat this time as pausers in reality. They scroll. TikTok, they stare at the ceiling, zone out. Don't be a zombie. Steal that time back. Robert Greene teaches that a live time is a choice. If you are stuck at the DMV for 2 hours, that is not a tragedy. It is an opportunity. Put in your earbuds and listen to read the book you've been carrying in your bag. Observe the people around you. Watch the power dynamics between the clerk and the customer. Use that time to plan your next strategic move. Even if you are in a job you hate a cubicle that feels like a prison cell, you can use that time to sharpen your blade. Learn the software. Study the management style. Save your money. Every second you spend waiting is a second you are stealing from your own future self. Manufactured urgency. Second, and this is crucial because nobody likes to admit it, you are lazy. We all are. Humans are biologically wired to conserve energy. We are designed to sit on the couch and eat berries, unless a predator is chasing us. If you give yourself a year to finish a project, it will take a year. If you give yourself a week, it will take a week. This is Parkinson's law. But let's make it visceral. Fear is a better motivator than passion. Forget the tiger chasing you metaphors. Put a gun to your own head. You need to manufacture urgency because nature won't do it for you until it's too late. Think about when you have guests coming over for dinner. You clean your house faster in that 1 hour than you did in the previous 6 months. Why? Because the deadline was real. There were stakes. Apply that pressure to your life goals. Set a deadline that scares you. Commit to a deliverable you don't know how to finish yet. Tell your boss you'll have the proposal done by Friday. Tell your investors you are launching next month. Burn the boats. Cut off your retreat. When you have no choice but to perform, you will be amazed at what you can accomplish. The inner Athena, that cool, rational strategist inside you only, wakes up when the heat is on, the final shift. Finally, you must integrate this new vision with the self-awareness we built earlier. Remember the loop. Remember those childhood patterns that keep tripping you up? The only reason you keep falling into them is because you are reacting to the heat of the moment. You are down in the mud, fighting the tactical battle with Susan in accounting. But when you ascend to the Hawk's perspective, you see the loop coming from a mile away. You see the toxic relationship pattern emerging. And instead of engaging, you simply step aside. You see the bait your colleague is dangling to make you angry, and you refuse to bite. You become ruthless with your time because you finally understand how expensive it is. You start saying no to almost everything: the shallow parties, the pointless meetings, the drama, so you can say yes to the one or two things that actually matter. This is the ultimate of You move from being a slave to your past to a master of your future. You stop being the stunt double reenacting old scripts written by your parents or your insecurities. You fire the director. You sit in the chair. The script is blank from this moment forward. The hourglass is smashing against the floor. You have work to do. Don't wait for the right moment. The right moment is a myth. The only moment you have is right now. Pick up the pen.